everyone, my name is Daniela Lopez. I'm a cadet from the Maritime University of the Caribbean, and today I'll be talking about the confined spaces. What is a confined space? A confined space, like everybody knows, is a space which is partially enclosed, and it's not primarily designed or intended for continuous human occupancy, has limit or restricted entrance or exit, or a configuration that can complicate first aid, rescue, evacuation, or other emergency response activities, can represent a risk for the health and safety of anyone who enters due to one or more of the following factors, like its design, construction, location, or atmosphere, the materials or substances in it, work activities being carried out in it, or the mechanical, process, and safety hazards present. On board ship, many of these enclosed spaces are used for installing some machinery or for storing machine parts or workshop equipment. The important thing to remember is that each time a worker plans to enter any workspace, the worker should determine if that workspace is considered a confined space. You must be sure the confined space hazard assessment and control program has been followed. To manage the risk associated with working in confined spaces, employers must develop and implement a confined space hazard assessment and control program. A control program is specific for the work being conducted, should write in for work in each and every confined space. The next question to ask is, it is absolutely necessary that the work be carried out inside the confined space? In many cases where there have been deaths in confined spaces, the work could have done outside the confined space. Before entering a confined space, a trained and experienced person should identify and evaluate all the existing and potential hazards within the confined space. Another important topic to be discussed today is the procedure for entering an enclosed space. There is a proper procedure that needs to be followed for safety and wellness for the person entering the enclosed space, and there are some points that need to be followed. Like the risk assessment has to be carried out by competent officers, as enclosed or in confined space entry is deficient in oxygen, making it a potential life hazard. A list of work to be done should be made for the ease of assessment, for example, if welding to be carried out or some pipe replacement, etc. This helps in carrying out the work quickly and easily. Risk assessments also need to be carried out. Risk assessments include what works to be done, rescue operation, etc. Potential hazards are to be identified, such as presence of toxic gases. Also, we need to, likewise, all fire hazards possibilities should be minimized if hot work is to be carried out. This can be done by emptying the fuel tank or chemical tank nearby the hot workplace. The confined space has to be well ventilated before entering. The place has to be checked for oxygen content and other gas content with the help of oxygen analyzer and gas detector. Also, the oxygen content should read 20% by volume. Percentage less than that is not acceptable, or more time for ventilation should be given in such circumstances. Enough lighting and illumination should be present in the enclosed space before entering. Also, a proper permit to work has to be filled out and checklists to be checked so as to prevent any accident which can endanger life. Permit to work is to be valid only for a certain time period. If time period expires, then again new permit needs to be issued and checklist is to be filled out. Permit to work has to be checked by and permit by the master of the ship in order to work in confined spaces. Proper signs and men at work signs boards should be provided at required places so that persons should not start any equipment, machinery, or any operation in the confined space, endangering life of person working in there. Duty officers have to be informed before entering the enclosed space. The checklist have to be signed by the person involved in entering and also by competent officers. One person always has to be kept standby to communicate with the person inside the space, and the person may also carry a lifeline with them inside. Also, the person should carry oxygen analyzer with them inside the enclosed space, and it should be all the time to monitor the oxygen content in it. No source of ignition have to be taken inside unless the master or competent officer is satisfied with it. and the number of persons entering should be contrasted to the adequate number of persons who are actually needed inside for worker. The rescue and the resuscitation of equipment are to be present outside the confined space. Rescue equipment includes breathing apparatus and spare church bottles. After finish the work and when the person is out of the enclosed space, the after-work checklists have to be filled. The permit to work have to be closer after this. Knowing the risk involved and reminding ourselves about risk again and again can be of some help. Companies need to develop a safety culture strategy to ensure increasing compliance with the procedures. A company can also make the procedures simpler to ensure that these are easy to follow and people are willing to follow these procedures. Thanks.